Greetings of peace and thanks for tuning in. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. So in these videos we prepare for the coming of Imam Mahdi as well as the second coming of Jesus, peace and blessings be upon them. And they're also known as the Machiachs in the Jewish tradition. So we're going to be looking at spirit versus the physical body. This is very important, especially in the time of Imam Mahdi and the time before it, that we need to strengthen our spirits, our mind of spirit over the ego. So, as I've mentioned before in some previous videos, that I've had out of body experiences, and one of the main things that I realized being outside the physical body was that my mind was the only thing that existed out of my physical body. I didn't feel like I had a body outside just my mental capacity. I just felt like I was a mind. That's what I felt I was. I was just a mind outside, or a consciousness outside my physical body. And I didn't feel hot or cold. I didn't feel the aches and pains of my body. Um, I didn't feel any pain. I felt free as I've never felt free before. The physical world and these physical bodies are constrictive to the spirit, our spirit mind. And my mind was accelerating in speed and thought, and I was downloading information exponentially faster and faster until I re-entered my body again. And then I could feel all the aches and pains of my body once I entered it. So, for me reading the Quran and understanding Islam, um, and we'll go over some Quran verses to help us understand this on a deeper level, that really emphasizes the spirit over the physical world of our inner physical bodies. So I feel this is very important for our preparation of the coming of Imam Mahdi, as well as the second coming of Jesus, peace and blessings be upon them. And I focus on this a lot because, I don't like to live in a world full of injustice and corruption, that I want to live in a world of freedom and harmony and balance, and the laws of Allah being implemented. And this only can be done with a true leader, a true Khalifa, as our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, has mentioned in authentic hadiths that, Imam Mahdi will transform the world from injustice to justice, from oppression to abundance and equality and equity and stuff like that. So we'll get into some Quran verses to help us understand that. And so what I'll kind of do is just read them, and then we'll go over them afterwards to get a deeper understanding of this concept of the spirit mind over the ego. So as Allah says in chapter 2 through 7, and we're going to go read chapters 102 verses 1 through 3. So this is the only perfect book, wanting in naught, containing nothing doubtful, harmful, or destructive. There is no false charge in it. It is a guidance for those who guard against evil. Those who believe in the existence of hidden reality, which is beyond the reach of ordinary human perception and cognizance, and who observe prayer and spend on others out of that which we have provided for them, and who also believe in that message which has been revealed to you, and in that which has been revealed before you, and who have firm faith in the hereafter. It is they who follow the guidance from their Lord, and it is they alone who are successful in attaining their object in this life and the hereafter. As for those who are bent upon denying the truth, they would not believe, because it is all the same to them, whether you warn them or do not warn them, with the result that Allah will set a seal upon their hearts, and upon their hearing, and on their eyes is a covering, and a mighty punishment awaits them. So Allah says in chapter 102, verses 1 through 3, O people, you are vying with one another to excel in multiplying worldly possessions, divert you from God and the true values of life, until on your deaths you embrace the graves. Nay, you shall never hanker after worldly gains, power, and positions. You shall come to know in time that you have been chasing a shadow. So we'll go over some of these Quran verses in the mind that, the Quran goes into a plethora of different concepts and laws and commandments and ayats and signs um, to help us, I believe, strengthen our spirits, our mind of spirit versus the ego. And this also carries over into the hereafter, as that is our eternal abode. So in chapter 2, verse 3, Allah mentions those who believe in the existence of a hidden reality, which is beyond the reach of ordinary human perception and cognizance. Okay, so this is the reality of the spiritual realm, the seven heavens, the other dimensions and existences that go beyond this worldly life that we live here on Earth. Now, there's a lot I can go into that with, but basically, I'm trying to keep things simple. That we're going to look at the spirit mind versus the ego mind. So, the spirit mind always maintains peace and harmony and balance. Wants to give charity. Sees the abundance of Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. Worships Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. Um, all these are from the spirit mind that Allah has given us. Our true self is the spirit mind. So, one of the things I see in prayer, and doing the prayer, is the worship of Allah. And why do we worship Allah? This helps strengthen our spirit mind. This helps strengthen our soul and moves us away from the physical realm. Um, Puts our ego in check, um, and so forth. To see is one of the reasons why we worship Allah. Some people criticize Islam for saying, why does God need to be worshipped? It's not that God needs to be worshipped, is that we need to worship Allah to put our ego in check and appreciate and show gratitude um, to Allah, which I feel is another uh, attribute and quality of the spirit mind, is gratitude and appreciation for all the things that Allah does for us. So some of the things that the ego mind focuses on is, conflict, over analyzing things, um, doubt, and these are all the opposites that Allah promotes in the Quran, like trusting in Allah, giving charity, prayer, worshiping of Allah, forgiveness. All these are the spirit of the mind that we should focusing on more than the ego mind. So uh, we can think of a lot of ways that the ego is always trying to uh, be on the forefront. It has a self-serving attitude, the ego. It wants more and more physical possessions. That's why Allah mentions in this verse that with the who believe in the existence of hidden realities which is beyond the reach of ordinary human perception and cognizance, and observe prayer and spend on others which have been provided for them. So Allah is saying what strengthens the spirit, the mind spirit, is prayer, which is worship, which takes your focus off your ego and puts it on Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, which strengthens the spirit. Giving charity, that you're being selfless, you're not thinking of your ego, which is all me, wanting more and more possessions, when this world is just an illusion. This world is not real. The hereafter is our eternal abode, and this is just, as Allah mentions, that it is an illusion in this world. And Allah mentions here that you should never hanker after worldly gains, power, or positions. You shall come to know in time that you are chasing a shadow. That there's nothing real in this world. When your soul mind spirit mind leaves the physical body, you don't take any of your possessions, you don't take anything except what is your mind. So you want to leave this world, um, connected with Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, because that is the ultimate truth. And you want to have your mind in a good state. Um, you know what I mean? You don't want the attachment of your ego exiting this physical body, because that can get you into trouble. As Allah says in here, that the result is that He puts a seal upon their hearts and upon their hearing and upon their eyes, and there's a mighty punishment that awaits them. So, as I mentioned before, this is a free will cause and effect universe. So Allah also mentions that, um, you know, and who also believe in that message which has been revealed to you, and that which has been revealed before you, and who have firm faith in the hereafter. So those, what strengthens the spirit mind is faith, faith in the hereafter. That you know that you're truly you're truly a spirit at the core. This physical world is just an illusion. It's not really real. Um, but what happens here is that you don't want to corrupt your soul once it leaves the physical body, and that's where you can get into trouble in the hereafter. And like I said, this is also a cause and effect universe. There is consequences to our actions here, so um, you want to be making sure that you're doing, you're not harming people, that you are focusing on the mind of peace, the mind of harmony, the mind of balance, the mind of gratitude, the mind of generosity and charity, the mind of forgiveness, the mind of selflessness, and all the good things that Allah promotes in the Quran. Worshiping Allah, doing the prayer, weakens the ego and strengthens the spirit mind, and builds a connection between the presence of Allah that you feel within yourself, within your soul. And all these will help us bring about peace and harmony on earth, and to not be fearful into the tactics of the shaitan, as the shaitan always feeds on people's egos, wanting them to have more physical possessions in this world, want to gain more power, wanting powers of positions of power, these things that a lot that the shaitan tries to entice the human souls while incarnating here in these physical bodies, to direct their mental thought towards and dwell on these things, where it's better to overlook these thoughts, push them out, give them to Allah, and then focus on peace, focus on harmony, focus on charity, focus on forgiveness of others. Allah mentions, it's very difficult to forgive others, but ultimately it's the best thing. um, you know because if you forgive others, then Allah will forgive us of our sins too. So nobody who comes here is perfect. Allah has created us perfect, but this is a place where the soul grows and learns to overcome the physical body, to strengthen the mind of the spirit, um, to help us gain deeper wisdoms and understandings of reality and truth. This is the real reasons why we are here, not to gain material possessions, not to have, not be one up on everybody else in the material world. This is not why we're here. We are here to grow, learn, to experience, and to strengthen our spirit mind over the physical. And these are just one of the aspects that Allah teaches within the Quran. There are a vast majority of other things that Allah teaches within the Quran, but this is just one aspect that I feel is very important. And understanding this aspect will help us grow stronger as believers, to strengthen our spirit mind, and not be fearful of the strategies of the shaitan. And Allah teaches that the strategies of the shaitans are very weak, and for us to put our trust in Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, and not be fearful and not be um, worried, because these all come from the ego. The ego becomes worried, it's self-absorbed, it's always looking to create conflict and argument, always looking to debate. Where the spirit is free, um, it feels love from the unique creator of all that exists, peace, harmony. Within God, everything is harmonious, everything is loving and peaceful. But um, the ego, like I said, believes that it's separate from Allah, that it is um, its own self, exists outside of Allah, that it doesn't need Allah. So these are a lot of the problems that we have here on earth, is because the ego has been unchecked, um, and it's time for us to set an example to focus more on our spirit mind, and not our ego selves, which is just an illusion in itself. So we need to understand the higher truth, that we are love, we are peace, we are harmony, we are one with Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, um, and to focus on that, and understand the teachings within the Quran and other holy books and other truthful wisdoms and teachings that are out there, that are in resonance with our spirit mind, to focus on those to help us gain better understanding of wisdom and living a more harmonious and balanced life. And like I said, Allah says that He doesn't change the world unless we change our minds and our ways, our actions. So we can avoid a lot of evil in the world. Allah can transform the world from injustice to justice just by transforming our hearts and our minds and our actions into a more positive spirit mind focus, versus the body that just wants to be self-serving. So I gave a lot of information in this video about that. If there's any conflict within your mind about what I've said, just try to overlook it, give it to Allah, and then focus on your spirit mind, which is your true self. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you take Allah as your shield, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be with you. Thank you. Take care. Peace.